Okay, let's start the stream. Is the stream live yet? Just refresh it. I have no idea. It's been so long since I've streamed, I don't know. Hang on a minute, let me just open up the YouTube studio again. Man, this has been so long. I have no clue what's happening with YouTube anymore. It shows that I've already got a there we go. I can see the stream now. But it is unlisted. So let's just change that to public. And I'm sure that should at least... There we go. Alright. We appear to be live. I'm just hoping I don't get any work messages and stuff now. Oh, cool. That was actually YouTube telling me that the stream's live. That's really awesome. Alright, so I am just going to go ahead and start doing what I wanted to do, which is just literally doing a fresh install of Ubuntu and Containerlab. Hello, Frank. How are you doing? Let me just grab a window, because I do want to kind of showcase how to go about just do like a fresh install of these things, because it kind of helps. So let's just go to ubuntu.com. I don't even know why I still have Malwarebytes installed. Let's download Ubuntu. It's pretty much free. I'm already on the download page. I don't know. That should actually direct me somewhere. I don't know if it's these orange glasses that's making me get like all silly. But they do kind of help with eye strain at least. Because I do find that I sit in front of the computer way too much. Okay, let's download. There we go. Download Ubuntu desktop. There we go. That's what I want. I've already got the image downloaded. This is kind of just to showcase it on a video. So we can just download that. Does this little bit. There we go. Second ISO. But I can just kind of cancel that now and just go ahead and showcase how to install Ubuntu Fresh. So let's hop onto a VMware. And I'll just create a new VM. I will install the operating system later. It will be Linux, Ubuntu 64-bit, Ubuntu 64-bit number 2. Very creative with that name. So let me go into PC, D drive, virtual machines. Let's make this Ubuntu 2. Actually underscore to that. And that should be good. Hello, Nicholas. I haven't seen you in a while. I think you said, hey, I haven't seen you in a while on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's just give this like 100 gig. I'm not really going to use this new VM much. It's just for showcasing purposes. All right. Customize hardware. Keep it netted. Give it a little bit of memory. Pump up the processors a bit. And allow for the nested virtualization. When we will do BGP with MikroTik. I think we're always doing BGP with MikroTik, but I think I can probably set up a few labs, especially in Containerlab, to do that as well. The cool thing is What I really like about Containerlab is you can very easily share your topologies, your labs with other people. So you could just post it on Git and people can clone it and they can have like your lab almost instantly. So it's a lot easier than with Eve. What do you mean online? You mean like on a live stream or something? Downloads Ubuntu. And let's just close that and finish it. Well, I mean, it depends. I might get back into the live streaming maybe every Thursday or something, because I do feel like I need to maybe do something a bit more productive with the live streams. So it might be a good idea. The problem is I don't actively use MikroTik as much anymore. So a lot of it is just from labbing it and stuff like that. I think most of the kit I use these days is just like Juniper. But it's still valid. I mean, it's still fine. I see a lot of people that connect to us using MikroTiks as well, and sometimes I even help them with what they need to do. So it's all good. Okay, can this load? I hope. Long time no see. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? I'm just hoping this Ubuntu VM actually starts up. I feel like I messed something up. Though I don't know what. I don't see how I could have messed something up. It's basically start up and play. There we go. Oh, that's quite sharp. Next. This is just gonna be point and click basically. Yeah, MikroTik's still one of my favorite vendors, to be honest. I mean, I just enjoy how they handle their community as well. Though I must be honest, I haven't been on their website much, on the forums recently. So I need to see what's going on there again. Interactive, just default. I don't think I need any extras. Erase, next. Your name, Ubuntu. Your computer's name, Ubuntu VMware Virtual Platform. I do like that Broadcom made VMware Pro free now, I think. I think you can just install it. Password. I think that should be fine. I know Ubuntu forces you to make a better password these days. Next. And let's have that install. Yeah, I definitely want to make more videos. The live streams, I'm still debating, because I do think I'd like to maybe reserve Thursday evenings and do live streams like every Thursday going forward, because it seems like a good day or time to fit me in my own schedule. And even if I'm not making videos, the live streams can still be, it could still be good. It's still fun to just chat to you guys and just do something. Because sometimes I get so lost in the sauce, so to speak, just with your day-to-day work stuff, that it kind of just feels like everything blends into one long stream. So I do think the live streams just help me sometimes just break free from that. Ooh, I definitely need to install Visual Studio Code as well, but I can do that after the install's finished. Another thing that I actually enjoy doing in my spare time that keeps me sane is, funny enough, painting little Warhammer figurines. Because since I've moved to the UK, like the stuff is everywhere and it's so cheap here. So it's so easy to just get into that hobby as well. You could just start like painting Warhammer miniatures. And it's very, I don't know if the therapeutic is, it probably is the right word. It's very fun to just sit there with your little brush and just paint them. And sometimes I paint them with my kid as well. He doesn't really, he's just like smacking the paint on, but it's still fun. It's good time. Good nerdy hobby. I don't know how good Linux is for gaming. I know my brother uses it quite extensively, but I've never tried playing games using Linux. Hmm. I do feel like Ubuntu takes a bit longer to install these days. Don't know what else they've been bloating it with. Yeah, I know my brother uses it. I just never, I haven't gotten into it. So I really should, because I understand it's really easy with most of the Steam games as well. Most of my library is Steam anyway, so it might be a good fit to just really switch to Ubuntu instead of using Windows, because that will also get me closer to my VMs actually being on the host itself instead of doing all this nested stuff that I'm doing. So I don't know. Might be something I give a go. It's just all of the extra other apps that I use as well when it comes to video creation. But then maybe for that, I can use a Windows VM and load the apps on the, the Windows VM for stuff like, what's that Filmora that I use? I'm not even sure you can use it on Linux. But I'm sure where there's a world, where there's a way. Like it's kind of like networking as well. If you can imagine it, you can make it work with enough effort. Do, do, do. Um, I've got the new Gothic games music also playing like really softly in the background. I'm not sure if it's playing on the headphones as well. I did try and bring that sound down. I guess it just adds a little bit of ambience if there's just something else besides me talking and silence in between. Because this is kind of boring, like just sitting waiting for Ubuntu to install. I've actually have a VM ready as well. I could just boot it up, and I think I snapshotted it right after the install as well, so it might be quicker to just do that. But since I'm doing this for a video as well, I'll just collect this and then use that footage for the video. Any of you guys using EvenG or GNS or anything still? Or have you tried Containerlab yet? Oh, I think the stream's freaking out, something about the resolution's too high for what it's showing, but I think it's just because of the VMware. If I do that, it should fix it. Yeah, I think it should work fine on Red Hat. I think they said it's pretty good on any RHEL or Debian based systems. I think you can install it on anything really. I've seen that you can even install it on Windows using WSL, but that's not something I want to try. I whenever I've tried using WSL, I break more than what I actually get working. You know what? I still haven't given Peanut Lab a try, but it's just because it's no hate at the guys or anything, but it's basically EvenG, isn't it? It's just like a fork of EvenG, but it looks good. It looks like EvenG Pro, and people can use it for free as well, which I think is really nice. But since I had EVNG Pro and it was working for me, I never had, the reason to try PNetLab. But since my EVNG VM broke, it gave me the option to try some other stuff, and that's why I've been trying Containerlab, and it's actually been really, really solid, really nice. What is the thing freaking out about? You need to change video resolution. Oh, okay, hang on. I don't know if I can fix that. I'm just going to try and change the bitrate. I'm just not sure I can do that while I'm streaming, can I? I hope I don't break anything. Output. Oh, okay, I think I still had the bitrate set for when I was dual streaming with, what was it? I was using Twitch as well. And easier image commit. Ah, that's really nice. Alright, this has finished installing. I just want to see if the stream health is still, if it's better now. I mean, I don't know what the quality looks like for you guys. It looks fine on the previewer on YouTube Studio, so I'm hoping the stream is okay. Okay, let me just quickly bump this up. All right. So back onto Ubuntu, let's just restart. And while that restarts, I just quickly need to remove that image, that ISO, and I can just quickly do that by removing the CD drive. There we go. So that should bring that up. Oh, let me just bring OBS Studio back up as well instead of the YouTube Studio, because OBS actually has a nice chat widget as well, which is quite cool. There we go. Please remove installation medium. Yes, it is gone. You can just boot up normally now, please. I think what I want from this, from the stuff that I'm busy collecting for the video I want to make, it's just to showcase that it's not difficult to get Containerlab going. It's actually really straightforward. There's like a few little blocks that you need. The most important part is having Docker installed so that you can actually run containers and stuff like that. And then installing Containerlab, and they've got like a literally like a one-line script almost, so you can just copy paste into your terminal, and it basically just brings everything up for you, which is so cool. So let's go log in, and once that's logged in, I'm just going to run through this quickly. Not interested in any of that. Dark mode. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to have a check out on their channel. I haven't looked at Linus. I haven't looked at his videos at all recently, so I'll have to catch up on that. And that sounds like it would fit me, because then I can also try it out. All right, so that is up. Let's just quickly bring up the resolution a little bit, so it doesn't look all scuffed like this. I could either just do this and just stretch it, or I can use that and just stretch that out with, I never know how to do it with the hotkeys. I think it's just auto size, stretch, adjust. There we go. That should be fine. Although that doesn't look 100% right either. Hang on, something isn't ideal. There we go, that's a bit better. That looks a lot better. That's good that Linux is actually giving Windows a run for its money, because Windows is so full of bloatware and all the weird stuff they just keep installing in the background. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. Okay, so now that we're here, let's just do a few bits. Just pop the terminal and add it to the dock. And I just want to head into the App Center as well and quickly install VS Studio Code. That's quick to install. And once that's done, then we can begin the fun and install Containerlab quickly. See if this looks alright. Yeah, it looks fine. Continue without sign in. Okay. So, next step is let's just Google Containerlab and then go into their web page. I think it's containerlab.com, but I could be corrected. Containerlab. Oh, containerlab.dev. So I stand corrected. I was wrong. So, Containerlab, for anyone that doesn't know, is just a neat way of labbing as well, using containers, but you can also use virtual machines, which is what I'm going to use a lot, is virtual machines, because I do find it useful to just bring up, although CHR is on the Docker registry now as well, so you could pull down a CHR as a container directly, and it works fine, but I've had some issues with it on its management network. I'll actually show it as well in a minute, as soon as I've brought it up. But as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff that you can use Containerlab with. It's really close to like EVE-NG. So we can either go through the installation or quick start, and I'm going to kind of use both, because with the installation, it actually tells you what the prerequisites are. So you do need sudo privileges, which we do have. We do need Docker install. So I'll just open up that in a little tabby. And then you need to load container images. So easy peasy. So first bit I'm going to do is just install Docker. And to install this, let's find Ubuntu. But there we see there's all the different operating systems as well. So I'm just going to go into Ubuntu. And then it's literally just like a copy paste for me. I'm pretty sure I could skip this first step, but I'm still just going to run it because it's kind of like recommended. But I know I've started from step 2 and just done this, and it worked fine. So let's do some copy pasting. Actually, let's do this cool thing. I love doing this with Windows. It makes it feel like you're doing some cool stuff. Now I've got my 2 windows just next to each other, so let's do a little update. See what happens. There we go, that's fine. We'll do the upgrade at the end anyways. Paste that in. Yes. And next bit. I don't remember if I need to install curl as well. I almost think I do. Oh no, never mind. Okay, that's all good. I actually think this I need to copy in one line almost. Yeah, that's one line. Let's just copy paste this whole thing. There we go. And then we do another update. And I might just run the upgrade now as well. Upgrade. Yes. No, that's unfortunate. Be aware that 3D acceleration may F up full screen of Ubuntu App Store. Alright, so this is done. Step number 1, just put this stuff in. I think I could also just have copy pasted this like in one line, should have been fine. And then I'll just go for the latest version. Once this is finished, see, I'm getting some messages, nothing interesting. Okay, let's paste that in. And that's literally just the magic sauce to install Docker. And once that's done, let's just see if it's running, which it should be. Yeah, it looks good. And then what we could do is bring up a silly little container called Hello World. So it's just going to download that from the Docker registry. And then if I do like a, what's it, Docker images? What's it, container images? I'm pretty sure it's Docker images. Docker images. There we go. All right, so it's running that little Hello World container. All good. All right, so we have finished the actual first, well, second real prerequisite, which is having Docker installed. And now we can do the load container images. But let's just do the quick setup script. So I think I already had it open. No, I don't. Let's just go into the quick start script. It's literally just this. Copy this one line, pop it into our terminal, and hang on. What did it do? Curl, try curl help. Did I have to sudo that, maybe? Oh, hang on, I'm just like doing one thing. I'm not copying the whole line. Am I? No, I am copying the whole line. What the heck? There we go. Don't know why I did that. It's so weird. I copied with clipboard and that's fine, but when I copied it like that, I don't know. I probably selected it weird. So, runs through its little setup script. It's really, really quick. Once this is done, you'll see this is so cool. They even give you like little steps that you can follow along with just to get the. I followed this as well, obviously, and it worked really well. Like there you can see, you basically create like a, they call it a topology, which is just really a YAML file, and it reads like any Ansible playbook almost. You just, it's a YAML script, so it is very readable. Give it a name, set a topology, say what nodes are in it, which is basically just your devices, your VMs, your containers, your whatever. And then the cool part about Containerlab is it allows you to define links between the containers so that it works like EVE-NG or GNS3 or those things where you have these devices connecting to each other and talking, and then you can configure things, which is so neat. So now that I've done that bit, we've actually everything should be right. You can just use CLab or Containerlab, and I could do something like, let's see what there is. But basically you can run a deploy or destroy to bring up or kill a lab. And inspect is the interesting one, although I don't have anything running right now, so it's not actually going to give us any info. Inspect, because it's telling us, hey, I don't see any files matching whatever .clab.yaml. So that is kind of the naming that we use in Containerlab for everything, for the topologies that you want to bring up. So what I could do is, if I open up Visual Studio Code, now this is actually where the stuff really becomes magic, where it becomes really cool, because it might frighten some people because they're like, oh, I need to build topologies just using code and the CLI, and that's not the case. You can actually use some pretty nifty, cool GUIs. There's actually some GUIs I want to figure out, maybe even in this live stream, because they have released some apps for Containerlab. But this Visual Studio Code extension is really, really handy. So if we go to our extensions, we can just find Containerlab, and we can just install that. And it basically gives us this. This is cool. This looks like anything that it looks just as good, if not better, than stuff that you might see in some of the other network emulators. So that's installed. I do think I might have to restart, because I remember this being a bit weird. What happens if I just close Visual Studio Code and reopen it? Code, open that up again. Close that bit. Okay, before we do anything, let's just do a update. See if there's anything. Seems like there might be a few things. Upgrade. Ah, nothing really. Just some old stuff. Alright, so code's taking its time, and I do think this is where I just maybe need to do a reboot quickly of the system after installing that extension as well. Just do a reboot. And this should be back up in a second. Water, staying hydrated. That was not the password. Oh, I should have pinned Visual Studio Code. Pin to dock, open that up again. Let's just see if our extension is running now. Maybe I first just need to run a lab. Maybe we need to do that. So let's just go back into the Containerlab thingy, open up a terminal again. Come on. Expand, damn you, expand. There we go. Alright, so let's just see if we go back into the quick start. So this is literally just doing the whole thing from scratch almost. So let's just do that. Let's follow along with this quick start quickly. So let's just create a directory called what is that? Don't tell me I need to sudo that. Oh, it's not happy with. There we go. So we just created a directory called CLab Quick Start, and then I'm in the CLab Quick Start directory as well, so that's fine. And then we just cloned this example CLab file. So if I look at this, oh, it hasn't actually cloned it yet. Let me just copy this bit then. Paste that in there. Oh, I need to curl that. Else I might just clone it. Paste. Oh, hang on a second. I know what's wrong. If I read, I'd actually see it's complaining that it can't resolve the host name, and I can see this network is showing it's got a little bit of an issue. So let's just have a look why. Sudo apt install nettools. I mean, I might just quickly turn the network off and on again. Oh, that's a bit of a catch-22. I'm trying to download stuff when I'm not connected. That was some good end user stuff, that. So let's quickly see if I go into my VM settings. It is currently used to NAT. Let's do something a bit different. Let me just bridge that to my normal connection quickly. And then turn that off and on again. And we've got liftoff. Wunderbar. So let's install NetTools anyways. And let's actually run this curl command and just copy this file. And now we've got the CLab file. Perfect. So if I just have a look at that file, which will just show us what's in there as well. Cat ZSR. So just a YAML file with some topologies. But I do think that I need to download this COS image from, what is it, the Arista website, if I remember correctly. So here it just explains what's what. I just want to see if they tell us that we need to download the, yes, our topology consists of these two nodes, the Nokia one, which is being downloaded from this registry, and COS for the Arista COS node. Now I already know the COS one is going to fail because I don't have the image yet, but we can, man, I'm gonna have to register onto the Arista thing. I don't want to do that right now. So let's bypass that by just opening up this YAML file quickly. Open a file, CLab quick start, open. And then what we're going to do is just say there's actually two of these. So let's make it our SRL1 and then SRL2. Because now we'll just have two of these Nokia devices. And just copy that, paste that in there, use the same image. Now we've got two nodes, SRL1. So let's just have them connected to each other, SRL1 to SRL2. It's cool how the connections are defined because you've got the node, the device, with this colon there, and then what port you're using. So they even on their documentation showcase exactly, like if we go to the kinds, then explain like how each kind is defined. And I know a lot of people that watch my channel watch stuff like for MikroTik, and MikroTik is on here, so you can go into the MikroTik router is. But what is interesting with Containerlab when it comes to MikroTik is you can't use Ether1. You can't connect anything on Ether1 because the Ether1 is by default just kind of assigned to the Docker management network, or you can think of it as, oh, my whole screen freaked out there. Apologies about that. I get that from time to time. I think there's just too much stuff connected to my actual machine. All right, so let's see. We've got those two devices, these two links. Let's just save that. Has it actually saved it? I don't know if it's actually saved it. Let's just open it up again and see if it's actually saved it. Yeah, okay, so we should be fine. Right. These orange glasses really makes it weird to read some stuff. Let's see, can I actually deploy this? Because that's kind of like the big show, is just showing, hey, you can deploy stuff with Containerlab. Is that extension working yet? Containerlab, no running labs yet. So what I can do is just deploy this. What's the issue? All right, let's quickly just jump onto here and see if I get this Okay, we've got those images. Okay, let's just try and do it from here. So clab deploy line 15. I think I messed something up. Oh, okay, I see exactly what I've broken. And that's why that's red like that. It is because we are missing a little thing. It's there, what I'm missing. If I can figure out what's what on my keyboard, there we go. Because I think on Ubuntu it's using the UK keyboard, and on my normal machine it's using the US keyboard, so everything gets a bit wobbly, if that makes sense. Alright, there we go. There, I see my lab isn't looking weird anymore, so let's try and deploy it from Visual Studio Code. And it shows it is busy pulling that container, which is good. And it should come online any minute almost. It's really quick. It's as quick as the download takes. And the nice thing about containers are they are so lightweight, so they boot up quickly, they get torn down quickly, and it just seems like they use less resources, but they still use resources. Don't don't let me say they don't use resources, because I've tried using some of the Juniper container routers things they have for Evo, and those things chow memory like nothing. I tried starting a lab up with like 8 of them, and it just ate so much memory. I had 48 gig assigned to my VM, and it just ate through that in a couple of seconds. My whole machine started just freezing. Kind of funny doing that. Alright, it's download complete. Oh, it's actually running already. If I see it's showing me it's running there. So if I just click on that, this is kind of where this is kind of cool. Ta-da, it's a topology, you know, just like with EVNG and all that stuff. So I can unlock the slab and I can move these nodes around, and you see there's a little line between these nodes. How cool is that? That's really cool to me. I wonder, if I remember correctly, you could add nodes from here as well, but I haven't done it like that. I've been doing everything through the YAML files. And if I wanted to add another device, I'd actually just have to destroy the lab quickly. So let's do that. Destroy the lab. And if I go back into the YAML file, look how cool this is. Look how cool this is. I'm literally, and since the container's already been downloaded, it doesn't need to do that again. Let's just do a few more. Let's just do like 5. Should be fine. So SRL 3, 4, 5. And I can now define some links between them as well. So the cool bit is your endpoints is still just like this. How many links am I going to need? Like 4, I think. Because I'm going to connect 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So let's do SRL number 2 on its. I hope that's the second port. I don't know if that's the second port. I hope so. And then we'll do SRL2 to SRL3 on its first port. And then SRL3 to SRL4. We'll make that one its second port, and that first port. And then SRL4 to SRR5. And let's save that, and let's just deploy it again. So deploy, and it's either going to moan at me or it's just going to work. And if it moans at me, the logs are there. It'll tell me, hey, you got there's something wrong, unexpected error. You know, like programming almost. The code will tell me, no, this this doesn't work. So is it running? It looks like it's running. Show logs. Well, the logs are still the same. I'm not seeing my other images though. Did I save it is the question. Let's destroy it and save it and run again and see. I've got a feeling that's probably what happened. Just cat it from here as well. Alright, it's got all of them images, so let's just do a deploy. SRL5. Oh, you see how nifty that is? There's me. I already identified an issue. There's a little typo there. Tells me it can't find SRL. That's such a tongue twister. 5S. So yes, that's me. That's a human error. So those errors people make a lot. So let's just save it again and deploy it again. And there we go. I'm hoping those link names are right. But the cool thing is I can just go to the kinds, the nodes, and then I can look at that node and see. There's the second interface. Okay, so we're fine. We're totally fine. No issues. So if I go back there, there's our additional nodes. So if I go onto the extension, although the funky part is I do need to, it looks a bit weird. This doesn't look 100% right to me. Do I need to unlock the lab? Do I need to refresh anything? Oh, you see what it's done. It's like just literally stacked them on top of each other. Okay, so that's why it looks a bit weird. So there, 1, 2, drag them around. Maybe they can even look like this. I do like this little snapping tool though. This canvas is really nice. The way it makes everything look. The question is, and that's kind of neat, you can see the links statuses as well. And I think you can also get something for Wireshark, so you can actually also see exactly what's happening on the links, which is quite nice as well. I just don't know why they're not showing green now and why this is showing like grayed out here. Because they should definitely be working. Let's just quickly see if there's a bunch of ways you can SSH to this stuff. I'm kind of just showing off the extension as well because it is really neat. But there you can see when it deployed the lab, it told you exactly there's what the lab's name is. And you could ping this. This is like a container name now. If I wanted to, I could grab that. I'm pretty sure I could ping that host name as well on the VM. And you can see it resolves. There is a v6 address, or we could even connect to it on its v4 address, and you can SSH to it. And since it's a container, you can also do this docker exec IT thingy and just grab onto it that way. So let's try that maybe. Let's try docker exec minus IT. What's the container's name? What's that name? I just pasted. And then bash. And there I'm on the I'm on it. That's so cool. And I can just exit it. And if you wanted to SSH it, I mean, it's kind of basically the same process. I'm just going to SSH to admin at the CLab, and then it's going to ask me for the password. And the password, they do have it here as well. Nokia SRL1 exclamation mark and some capitals and all that business. And same thing, I'm in the device, I'm in the node. How cool is that? I don't know the syntaxes that well because I don't really work on Nokia devices, but here we go, there's the device. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could do maybe something like Ethernet 1.1. What do you do, like print? I really have no clue. And it shows we're in the running mode. So I'm taking that's like the running config almost. That makes sense. How do I check stuff like IPs and stuff? Because I really don't use Nokia. But the nice thing is with Containerlab, you can also set up startup configs. And these startup configs can then load on the device when it deploys the container, so that you've got these predefined. I mean, I think that's a nice thing and not a bad thing, because on if you use EVE-NG or GNS3 or whatever, and you load these VMs and whatever you configure on it, it's always just there, you know, because it's kind of like a VM and it's storing that information or whatever you've loaded onto it. With the Containerlab stuff, you're basically then adding those configs on the startup config, so then whenever you deploy the lab, when you boot it up in essence, because every time you're kind of like booting it up for the first time again, then you need to have those startup configs just reapply those changes that you want, maybe. But it's still handy. It's really, I like it. It is really cool. That's cool. I don't think I've seen that before. Link addressing. I assume this might just be something you can do with the Nokias. No, because it's adding that to the... Oh wait, those are just two Nokias. Yeah, never mind. That's just me on the Nokia kind. I'm not on the quick start guide still. But what I do want to see is this new container app, or hear me out. Hear me out. Quit. So how about we make a directory called CLab Microtik. If I can spell makedir correctly. And let's go into the CLab Microtik. And let's maybe just make the Labo1 or something like that. There's obviously no files in there yet, but what we could do is I could open up, let's just destroy this lab with the Nokia stuff, because I'm going to bring up some Microtiks, and I might build a VM, but let's just use the container ones first, so you can kind of see what I'm getting at as well. So it's actually quite straightforward to do the not Junipers, the Microtiks. So let's find the Microtik kind. It's router OS, and the kind is Microtik ROS. I'm pretty sure if I go into the Docker hub and I look for CHR, I should find it here. Microtik CHR. So I should be able to just use this. Yeah, let's just pull this. Because if I look at my Docker images, those are our images. So it's downloaded the one from Nokia. So let's just pull this one from the Docker hub for the Microtik CHR, and then we should see that if we do Docker images, there is our Microtik CHR. So what I could do is, there's a few things I could do. So I could be extremely lazy and just grab all of this and paste it in here and remove that, give it a name of MKT01, something like that. And then what we could do is just change all of the kinds from Nokia SRL Linux or SR Linux to, what was that kind for Microtik? Microtik router S or something. Yes, Microtik _ ROS. So let's just do, what's the replace key on Visual Studio Code? Something like Control H or something? Yeah, Control H. So I'm just going to find Nokia _ SR Linux and replace that with Microtik _ ROS. Let's do it for all. Perfect. And then if I sneak back into the terminal, I can just quickly grab the Docker image name and just replace that with the image name here. So same principle. And then we can just quickly cable our microtics together, and I actually should give them different names. So this SRL bit. Man, this feels like cheating because I'm just I'm literally just renaming everything. So SRL, I might actually mess something up like this. Let's just see what it highlights. Nah, that looks all good. So that I'm just going to change to MKT. So MikroTik 1, MikroTik 2, MikroTik 3, MikroTik 4, MikroTik 5. And it's already set my endpoint links as well. The only difference is I need to fix up the Ethernet port names, because this is not Ethernet. It's just like MikroTik Ether, but you start from Ether 2. You can't use Ether 1. So what I'll do is connect MikroTik 1 to MikroTik 2 on Ether 2 on both ends. So Ether 2, that looks good. And I can just copy that. You know what? Let's just paste that. And then make it for MikroTik 2 on Ether 3. It connects to MikroTik 3 on Ether 2. It's kind of exactly what we did with the Nokia. It's just different operating system. And then our MikroTik 3 on Ether 3 connects to MikroTik 4 on Ether 2. And then the last one is MikroTik 4 on Ether 3 to MikroTik 5 on Ether 2. So let's quickly save that as. And there's our C-Lab MikroTik, Lab 01. And then I do need to make sure that I call this, I can call it MikroTik 01 dot CLab dot YAML. That dot CLab portion is very important. So let's save that. And now that that's been saved, let's see what happens if I try and deploy this. So I can just right click deploy, or if I have a look here, I've got the CLab file here, so I can just do a CLab deploy. And it looks good to me. It looks really good to me. So it shows me it's built the connections or links, started the containers. It is running this, which is good. And let's just quickly see, can I actually just ping this? Can I see it? And no. But that's the issue I had when I used the CHR images as well from the container registry, which is weird. Let's just see, it doesn't actually start it up. Like the IP is unreachable. I wonder if I can see it on Winbox, but to do that I need to quickly install, you guessed it, Winbox. So let's download Winbox quickly. Winbox. Go into the MikroTik website. Winbox 4.1. I'm really happy. That's another thing I haven't made a video about. It's like MikroTik has released like Winbox for real. It's not just in beta anymore. It's actually there. So download that, and I know I'm gonna have to do something else as well. Winbox Linux. Felt a bit weird. So when I try and run this, it just fails, and I know why it's failing, because I had it as an issue before. So all I'm going to do is type Ubuntu Winbox for Reddit. Well, I don't want the opinion. Package install. I know there's some additional package I need to. It's just Winbox for Ubuntu not opening. Read it. You know, I should really bookmark these things. But it wouldn't have really mattered since it's a fresh install. It's not this. It's not that. I actually think it's that. Install the GUI libraries. I actually think it is this. If this is it, then like AI is so cool. I really have a love-hate relationship with AI. I use it actively, but I also, you know, when you open up like YouTube or Facebook or anything, and you just like get bombarded with like AI nonsense, and it's like, what is this, guys? What are we doing? Like, use it for something good at least. But I guess they make some cash off of it, so. Open up Winbox. No, it wasn't that. So. Was it this? Windows 4 not working Ubuntu. Was it this bit? You know, I'm just pumping random stuff from AI in here now. But I know it was something like that. I really remember it, and I know it was a Reddit post that I saw. That was the fix. So let's try again. The open out. Open. No. I think that might be it. Let me see. Sudo apt. Thank you for the paste. No, that's not the right one. Oh, I'm copying from my freaking. Just do sudo apt install lib cursor 0. Oh, it's already installed. Man, what was it? I feel like a madman trying to remember a Reddit post that I saw. And it was literally just one line that I copy pasted and fixed it. And I know it's something with Ubuntu. Between Winbox and Wayland. Wayland? Sorry, what is that? Winbox and Wayland? Is that another channel? Wayland. Oh, never mind. Okay. I see what that is. No, not that. No. It's just moaning. And it's weird because it's like the latest version of Ubuntu doing it. I didn't have it with previous versions. Like Winbox worked pretty good on Ubuntu. I shouldn't have to install Wine. Let me just extract. Nope. You know what? Let's just be lazy and reboot as well. Oh wait, before I do that, I still have a lab deployed, so let's just destroy that. That should be fine. But it takes a while. It's gonna tell me like, no, you can't do it because there's some, and you can force it. But I'll just wait a minute. So while I wait for that, let me just see if I can find that post. But I really know it was something like just one thing you needed to install. Install. Ubuntu. What version am I on? No, it wasn't that. None of that. Just quickly reboot. At least it boots up super quickly. Okay, let's get in there. Let's just see if one box is working. Please work. If you don't work, then I'll have to struggle. Why do you do that? What? I swear I've got it working. I can open up my other VM and show you. It does work. It's just, I don't know why it's not working now. Restore our session. Missing dependencies. I don't think I actually. I'm not gonna try and run it through wine. I know it just works normally. And that's what we did earlier. Update. Yeah. Already got that. Sorry, I'm just quickly reading through the forums, which ironically I said I don't even use anymore. Okay, that doesn't matter. This post. Because I really want to, showcase this as a process for people that might be using Ubuntu or trying to bring this up for the first time. Okay, let's have a look. And I swear it was like one of the first pages that opened. Maybe the way to find this is if I just open up my normal VM and find the Reddit page on there. That might be a lot quicker. So many Ubuntus. Come on. Come on, log in. Although it might be... There we go. Although I might have two VMs using quite a fair bit of resources. Though I wouldn't imagine it's consuming that much. So, Reddit. No. If I go into the history? Oh, come on. Dude, I know I had it, and it wasn't this stuff. It wasn't any of this. And obviously... Let me just make sure I'm not hallucinating. Yes, I can open up Winbox. So, what did I do to fix this? This is kind of... not upsetting, just, you know, one of those things that I got it working, and now I'm struggling to get it working just on another VM, which is not ideal when you want to, you know, kind of make a video on how to just bring up Containerlab from scratch. Although, technically, it's not a Containerlab issue, this is a MikroTik or Winbox/Ubuntu issue. So, let's just shut this down. That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea. Let's just go on to... I'm just gonna turn off this VM. Shut down. And let's go back to our other VM. So let's just go into our downloads, Winbox, and let's use Winbox. Do I just run Winbox? I don't typically. Now that is showcasing my ignorance with Linux. Let me... What am I doing? Go back there, thank you. No. There we go. Box V4. It's none of that. What? One box, no capitals. Let's try it like that. One box. Ah. So that should probably be what we need. Let me just see if I Google this. It's just I found it from a. It was so easy to find it last time. I don't understand. If this fixes it, then that's cool. And then thanks for the help, but I really wish. Right. So let's try and run it again. Okay. So you are the man or lady. But I'm gonna guess like you, because 99.5% of my viewers are all guys. So, well, that's what YouTube says. So, thank you for that. At least we got to the bottom of it, and it sees. I think that's my actual MikroTik, which is fine because I did bridge the connection. So let's go back to what we were actually doing, which was. If I close that, okay, that's gonna close it like that. So let's just open it from here, which it should still open, which is fine. So from the terminal, let's just go into the, what did I make it? C-Lab MikroTik, CD Lab 01. And let's just deploy this lab again. C-Lab deploy. Here's our MikroTiks. I'm just curious if it's going to pick up the MikroTiks in the neighbors and still just sees me. And there's the CHRs. So it can see the CHRs. Oh, but this is another nifty thing. If I do a C-Lab destroy, and let's just open up VS Studio Code again, I might actually want to pull a different image from Docker for the CHR, because instead of the latest build, let's grab the, it's not the stable build. Is it latest? I don't want the dev build. Which build is the? Does it have a long-term channel, or is that just going to be the stable channel, or is it the latest? Let me grab the latest one and see. More like a long live for him and my. Oh, it's great that you recalled that, because that really helped. Docker pull MikroTik CHR. So I'm just curious which image that is. Let's just do Docker images. What do we have? We've got the development build and the latest build. That is a little bit smaller, so I do think that might be the long-term release. I'm hoping it is, Because if we just open up our CLab file, I can just quickly change this from development to latest and just replace all that. And then presto, all of those devices are now that version, which is really, really neat. So let's deploy it. I'll deploy it from Visual Studio Code now and see what happens. Going to our little extension, there's our lab running. Nifty, there's our MikroTiks. The only downside again was with the CHRs from the Docker registry, I couldn't access it directly over these names or the IPs that it gave on the MikroTiks. But we did see it on Winbox, which is quite nifty. It looks a bit weird though. And it, hang on. Is it still seeing the old devices? I think it might. Let's just refresh the neighbors list. Yeah. Okay, so the build that I downloaded from latest is the stable build. So it doesn't seem like the long-term release was on the registry. No, I don't see it. Oh well. I mean, but again, I don't... What I've been using is basically VMs as well for the CHRs. I just wanted to show that you can get it off the Docker registry. And let's maybe do some startup configs as well, just to see if these devices can actually also talk to each other. So I'm just going to destroy the lab again. And then from this file, if I go into the kinds, just go into Containerlab, our kind is MikroTik Router S. We can just define a startup config. So startup config equals, so I'm going to build not many, just a couple of startup configs with IP addresses and see if, oh, and I'm going to enable ROM on as well, so that the MikroTiks can just instantly be accessed through Winbox, which is neat. So let's jump on here and define some startup config. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do that, but that's fine. And then I could just make this mkt01.cfg or txt. Let's do txt. I'm pretty sure I could just specify it as CFG as well. It should be fine. And let's just update the names. 02. Oh, did I full screen that? MikroTik 02, 03, 04, 05. And now I just need to actually have these text files created. So I'm going to work in the same directory. So what I could do is from here, I could either just create a text file with those names, or I could create another subfolder with the startup configs in it. But let's just create them all here in this Labo one, so that's fine. So let's just do a quick... Is Nano installed by default? I don't know. I think it was mkt01.txt. It is. All right, cool. So let's just think about how I would assign this. So IP address add equal IP address add address equals, let's make it like 10.0.0.0/31 interface ether2. I'm pretty sure, I don't think I need to do that. Do I? We'll see. So IP address add address and interface, and then tool romon set enable equals yes. At least I think this is how I remember it. And this was just connecting to router 2, so I'm just going to copy that and save that, quit, do a MikroTik 02, paste it. I don't need to, I can just take that bit out. Let's just, I'll copy it again afterwards. So IP address add, let's make it 1 on Ether 2. So that's fine. And then we're also just going to add another IP address. As .2/31 on Ether 3 with ROM on enabled. Let's just copy that all. Save that, quit. Go into MikroTik 03. So 03. It would probably help if I set a system identity as well. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine. So 4/31 to ROM on. Let's just set a system identity set name equals MKT 04. Am I on 4 or 3 now? 03. Never mind. I'm jumping ahead of myself. System identity set name equals MKT 01. I should actually have deleted that all. Yeah, it does. It has some gibberish. There we go. Gibberish deleted. So system. I wonder if it would have taken some of the gibberish, or if it would just, you know, ignore it and then go to the next part. I'll test it out in a minute. System identity set name equals MKT 02. Then we can go to 04. So what was I on? I think that was, I'll have to quickly go into 3 and see what I was doing. All right, so 5. Is that right? It should be 01. No, I think I made a mistake somewhere. And this might be where it's good to use something like the, I should have deployed the lab. I could also just make some comments here. So 10, 0, 0, 0, 0/31, 10, 0, 0, 2/31. Actually, I think I might have been fine. Man, 10, 0, 0, 4/31, 10, 0, 0, 6/31. Okay, so that's fine. And I was on MikroTik 4, should be .5. I've definitely made some mistakes somewhere. It might also just be more practical to open these up in Visual Studio. So that's fine. 10.0.0, what? MikroTik 01 is fine. So MikroTik 02 has .1 going to MikroTik 1, which is fine, and then .2 goes to MikroTik 3. So So MikroTik 3 should be starting on .3 on Ether 2, which is fine, and then Ether 4 or Ether 3 goes .4, which is fine. That's fine. Okay, so I was actually on the right page. Then MikroTik 04, that is just going to be .5, and then .6, and then let's just copy the system identity and set that as 04. Okay, that's fine. And then lastly, I might just add this like this. And this one does not have anything on Ether 3, and that is MikroTik 05. Then I just need to save this as MikroTik 05.txt. Alright, so those are our startup configs. So if I jump back to our YAML file, MKT05, these are all fine. So I'm just going to try and deploy this again, and let's see. Oh, did I misspell the system identity? In MikroTik 02, let's have a quick look. System identity set name. Did I? Yeah, I've done something different, haven't I? Just copy that across. Let's see, system identity set name, MikroTik 02. Okay, that should be fine. So let's try and deploy the lab again. clab deploy. Okay, so it's added all of that. So if I jump back onto Winbox, has these names actually come up? I don't see the identities yet. I don't think it's pushed that config. And I think it has to do with it not being able to actually SSH onto these nodes or access the nodes normally. That's just what I think. And I can verify that if I just do the VM bit quickly. So let's just turn this off, clab destroy. And then what we can do is go into our router OS. There we go. MikroTik router is cloud hosted router, is identified with this kind and is built using the VRNetLab project. And we can use VRNetLab to basically deploy VMs. So building VRNetLab images, we're just going to clone this. So let's just go to our root. Am I like copying something? Do I copy it weird if I copy from inside? It seems like I do. Alright, so we are in VRNetLab. So when we are in there, we should be able to supported VM products. I know that MikroTik is on here. Right, so what we can do is, I'm pretty sure there is a MikroTik image on here. There is, or directory. So let's just go into MikroTik. cd router cat readme. Copy the VMDK image into this folder and then run the make docker image It's as easy as that. I know there's a few more things that you can do to add like some features and stuff on your images before you containerize them or dockerize them. But I'm just going to use the default image quickly. So let's go on to Microtik's website again and download the, I think it's just the CHR image we download. Software downloads. This messed me up a little bit because what I didn't realize is what Microtik has done, and I don't know when they did it. It must have been a while already since they've updated their website. But it used to be that with RouterOS, the CHR was in here, and for a little while it confused me because I couldn't find it. Because like, where is it? The CHR is gone. There's ARM and all the other stuff that I know, but where's the CHR? And they just kind of made a different tab for it, which makes sense, but it confused me a little bit. So let's just download the image. I think it said the VMDK, didn't it? Just look at the README. So download the VMDK image. Yep. So VMDK. So all I'm gonna do is, I should have actually downloaded it straight. Microtik, RouterOS. Paste it in there. Okay, so all that we're gonna do is type make docker image. And there we go. It's making us a nice little, kind of like a VM for a CHR. What many people might be used to on their own EVNGs and GNSs and whatnot. It's still kind of just a container. It's putting it in Docker. It's just taking this instance of this VM and making a container of it. But the cool thing is we can then load it into Containerlab and use it as we see fit. And I know this image works for, am I using which build am I using? All right, I'm using the 720. It's long term. Okay, this is fine. This is perfect. Curious to see how long this takes. It shouldn't take too long. Let's have a little look. All right, I'm just hopping onto the stream to check. YouTube's still complaining about the stream health. I don't understand it at all. Exporting to image. Nearly there. Nearly there. I think that's it. Let's just do a container images, Docker images, and yeah, there she blows. So I should just be able to grab that, and then if I go back into my file, I can just quickly change the image to this new image. So let's just, Control H, change all there, save it, and let's try and deploy it. So let's just go back to CLab Microtik, Lab 01, and let's do a CLab deploy. All right, so I'm curious firstly, can we actually ping these devices now? Yeah. And if I go into Unbox, let's just refresh it. I'm curious if it actually took the startup config yet. I do find that with the MikroTik image that we just built in Docker, it takes not long, just a few seconds to actually show up and connect to it and do stuff. Okay, let's just see. That's so weird that it zooms out like that. It's like so small. Unlock the lab. But that is kind of how everything is connected, which is fine. Let's see if it's picking up in Winbox yet. Don't see it yet. Let me just quickly try an SSH onto one of these devices. SSH admin at this thingy. What did they make the password? Sorry, I just need to go onto here. What did you make the password? Things like admin and I don't know if it's admin or admin at 123 or something silly like that. Admin. All right. Very straightforward. All right. So it did add the config because there I can see it's made it MKTO1. Let's just do an export. And it has set ROM on enabled. I might have to make the that should be a bit better. I should have actually done that long ago. I'll just zoom in like when I do a video or something. Okay, so they are actually up and running. Why don't I see it on Winbox? I know that I could connect to them before. Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. So what I think is since I can connect to the IP, I'm not seeing the MAC, although I could see it with the other CHR from the Docker itself or from Docker Hub itself. But if I connect to that host name with admin, I'm pretty sure it's going to connect with Winbox. There we go. It actually opens up Winbox, so that works fine. And that's actually how I was using it before as well. Because if I connect to ROMON using that host name, or I could use the IP address as well, but if I connect on ROMON, then I should see all the devices there. So there's my MKTO2, 03, 04, 05. All right, so all the MikroTiks are there. All their IPs are on there. So what might be a good... Let me just disconnect from ROMON, just connect normally. Cancel that. Let's connect just to this normally. What is this? There we go. Maybe that looks a bit better. Do I still need to set it to dark mode? Yes. That's better for the eyes. That's much better for the eyes. Sorry, I just want to have a look at the stream again. Stream health is looking decent. Alright. So let's have a wee look here. MKTO1. Maybe what we do is just quickly add some... I should have added some loopback addresses. And potentially OSPF as well. Because that way we could just get, you know, some very basic building blocks going for this little network. So I'm just going to do it on this one device, and then I'm going to basically just copy it and tweak it on the startup configs for all the containers, and then I'll just redeploy it and it will just work. So that's going to be quite nice. So with OSPF first, we need an instance. I'm going to use OSPF v2. Let's actually, before I do that, just add a loopback address as well. I know there is a loopback interface on MikroTik by default now, which is fine. Which addressing am I going to use? Maybe something like some Martian address, 192.0.0. keep it simple. .1 is router 1, .2, 3, 4, 5. So that's fine. So that would be my loopback. And then let's add the OSPF. So there's our instance, there's a name, version, I think the router ID, I'm hoping it takes it from the loopback interface. Let's just quickly apply it and see what it does. Areas, okay, before we do the, no, actually we do want an area first, so this would just be our backbone area. I'm just gonna leave all of these the defaults. And then once we, have they changed something with the OSPF again? No, there's the interface template, okay, that's fine. So we can just add an interface template. We'll use that area, we'll use this as a PTP. We could do PTP unnumbered as well. I actually want to test that out, but let's do PTP. And let's just add our interface. So I'll add the allo interface, and it should just set that to passive by default, I think. And then our ether2. And then have everything else just set as default. And I might just quickly add it on router 2 just as, not a test, but just to get it up and running. Actually, let's just go mtk. Hang on. It's like that. Admin. All right, that also works. Okay, so that's fine. IP address. Add our loopback. Then let's add our little OSPF. Just do a default instance. Backbone area. Interface template with our area. Type being point to point. And our interfaces being our allo. Ether2 and Ether3 for this guy, because it's connecting to MikroTik 03 as well. Let's just okay that. Let's just see, do we get a neighbor come up? We should get a neighbor. There we go. There's a neighborship. I'm just curious. All right, router ID, it did pull it from the loopback address, so that's good. I'm happy with that. And now that we know that works, I'm actually just going to export the config on MikroTik 02. Well, export it like this. Grab all of this, although not all of it, just more or less the OSPF bits I want. But I still want everything actually, because I do want to update the startup config for MikroTik 2 and 1, and all of them really. So let's go to MikroTik 2. So we've got OSPF, IP addressing, the DHCP it added by default, so I don't need to worry about that. Right, so these are the important bits. So I can save that. And I'm just going to do an export for MikroTik 01 as well. Export. Grab all of you guys, although I know which config I don't need. So MikroTik 01 config, do I have it somewhere? Where is it? MikroTik 01. Paste that in. That Ethernet config gets added by default. And our DHCP client gets added by default. So that is MikroTik 01. So now what I can do is go into MikroTik 03. And I'm not going to use the same IPs, although I will add .3 for our loopback interface. And I'm pretty sure it will take it like this as well. So I'm just going to copy these. Add address, add address. Okay, that's fine. 03 and ROM enabled. So that would be MikroTik 03. Let's jump onto MikroTik 04. Same principle. But I'm just going to copy that over there. Copy that over there. That becomes .4. MikroTik 04, ROM enabled. Save that for MikroTik 04. And let's get onto our last MikroTik. And then same principle. Except there's only a single IP address to add. And I don't need the Ether3 address. And I don't need to add Ether3 on the OSPF interface template. My identity is MikroTik 05. Right, so that looks good. So technically, what should happen is when I destroy this lab and I deploy it again, then our MikroTik should ideally just have full OSPF adjacency with each other, and we should be able to learn all of the loopback addresses as well. That's what should happen. Let's see if it is that perfect. So let's just start up the lab again. Hopefully it doesn't moan at me about something. It shows it started up correctly, so that's fine. We look at our topology. Topology looks good. So I'm surprised the Winbox session has lasted this long, but Winbox usually takes a while to disconnect. I think we know that. So if I jump onto MikroTik 1, question is, has it actually come up yet? Host unreachable. Takes a while though. I think I did mention a little bit earlier. It takes a few seconds. Let's just see if I do a CLab inspect. There's our containers. Let's just see, can I ping this guy yet? That does not help me. Let's just ping the IP 172.20.23. Right, so that does appear to be up. So let me just try and connect again. There we go. All right, so it is actually up. So, moment of truth. If I look at my IP routes, I'm not learning any routes yet. Is my OSPF up yet? Routing OSPF. I don't have a neighborship yet, so I think that's kind of like self-explanatory. No neighbor, no routes. The question is, do I muck something up on the second MikroTik or not? So let's see if I can connect to that. And this is here. No OSPF neighbor. It hasn't added the OSPF config, so I've definitely missed something with the OSPF config in the startup configuration. Huh. Interesting. So let me destroy the lab again. I just want to have a look and see if I can understand why it's not taking it, because it could just be like a missing syntax or something. So let's just look at the first microtik and see what is going on. So we've got routing OSPF instance, adds it, and gives it a name, and it's not disabled, which is fine. That looks fine. I'm not sure why it adds the IP addresses, but it doesn't add. Maybe I need to just take that bit out as well. And let me just group up the OSPF config together a little bit more. So first we do an instance, then we do the area. I'm curious. I actually should have deployed the lab. Let me deploy it. I just want to have a look at something. Deploy it again. It's going to take me just a few minutes to get back in, so it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, I could technically just log on to my actual microtik and have a look on there, but nah, not now. Don't know what weird WireGuard keys and stuff I've got running there, so. CLab inspect. All right, you are running, but you're still busy starting, so we're just waiting for this to stop from starting and just say it's running. All right, I think it will just say it's healthy, if I remember right. Paste. See, okay, well, it's pinging it, so let's see if we can connect. Connection works. And I see it doesn't have any OSPF instance even. So if I just grab that config and I just pop that in through the command line on the microtik, does it actually take it? I think that's what I should have done when I just started it up again before. So let's just see if it likes that or not. So if we just paste that. Aha! So that's why it's definitely not. But I started with the area now, so obviously that's not going to work. You start with your instance. Because the area does reference an instance first, so let's just paste that in. Print. So it's created the instance like this, so why doesn't it create it? Aha, I think I might know what's wrong. And I might have to do something more drastic than just destroying the lab. So I'm not sure if this is a Containerlab thing or if it's something with the microtik, but I do recall having a similar issue, and I basically had to destroy this container file, or not file, directory, because if you look here, it's got like a bunch of different things for the devices. So I'm not sure if it, when you start the environment for the first time, if it, you know, adds that config based off of here, and then it just keeps that config. Because if I cd into mkt1, let's just go to ftp boot there, ftp boot config, and it's got a config script. So if I cat that config script, aha, so that's exactly what it's doing. So I'm just going to do what what I wanted to do, is just delete that file or that directory, because that would just force it to redo everything from scratch again. I'm sure you could probably update it, but I'm not sure how. I haven't used Containerlab long enough to be that familiar with any of it. So let's just delete CLab MikroTik 01. So that's gone. So I'm just going to deploy this again like it's a fresh deployment. So CLab deploy. And it should, if I go into there now, go into, what was it, MKT1, FTP boot, and I look into this and I cat this. Now I've got my OSPF stuff added, so that is perfect. So if I disconnect and I reconnect, hopefully it's connecting. Not yet. So let's see. Let's do a CLab inspect. It is busy running. Let's see if I can ping this. Okay, so that is up. Let's try and connect now. All right, there's the connection. So now, let's imagine it was before when I said, oh, now the proof's in the pudding. Let's see if the roots are there. So let's go into our routing table. So there's our loopback route, but I don't see any of the other routes yet. Let's just go into our OSPF. Neighbor's not up yet. So let's jump onto MikroTik 2, because maybe that's still busy starting. Right, so that's up. No neighbor yet. Did I mess something else with the config? Oh. Alright, so I've definitely messed up something with the config, because there's no IPs here, so that's not going to work at all. Man, that is so unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to delete that again. So let's just quickly check on this first device. Do I have IPs here? I do. What did I do on MikroTik 2 to break it then? Huh. Contain CLab destroy. Let's just yoink it, terminate it, get rid of it, and then I'm just going to delete this MikroTik 01 directory again, and then let's see what is wrong with this. This MikroTik 01, which looks fine. MikroTik 02. Let me just move this config as well where it makes sense. MikroTik 03. I should have actually checked if the other MikroTiks had the same issue. MikroTik 04. And MikroTik 05. Save all of this. Let me just make sure there is no difference. There's just more IPs, but you know what, I can remove the Docker network IP as well, because that is something that I did do with MikroTik 01. 304, 05. Okay. I've messed something up, and I can see what it is. It definitely does not look normal. Well, it doesn't look normal on 3. IP address, add address, add address. That doesn't look right. IP address, add address. So that should just be like that. Yeah, that looks fine. So definitely MikroTik 03 was a tiny bit wrong. I can take out the network as well. It should auto-fill that in with the prefix or subnet in there. Okay, so I'm just going to deploy it again and see and hope it's taking it correctly now. And if it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. Because that is the fun part about labbing. Alright, so you are starting, but you are like minuscule again, so let's just zoom in. And wait for the connection. Well, let's try and force a connection. YouTube's got like a lot of weird tools for streaming now. You can definitely see I haven't been on stream for a long time. Okay, let's try and connect again. There we go. There's a neighbor, but that neighbor state is stuck in it. Xstart. I should actually jump onto the second MikroTik and check from there. So we've got our IPs, which is fine. We've got neighbors stuck in Xstart. Why is it stuck? Is something with the addressing wrong again? I don't think so. Just have a quick look through here. Xstart. So that does look a bit weird, doesn't it? Loopback address. Maybe I should just define the router ID. I mean, I'm just speculating that that's why it's stuck in the Xstart. Because that router ID looks the same, I think, on all of the neighbors for some reason. Because if I go into router 1, if it shows .30 as well on the router ID of the neighbor, then it tells me what's happening. So I can fix it manually, I guess, by just quickly updating it here. And let's just see if that is actually the case. So 192.0.0.1, and if I go into router 2 and just change your router ID to 192.0.0.2, do you form a neighborship? Just disable, enable, see if we force anything. Or was there something else going on? Gets to init. Interfaces are right. Link type is right. Areas is fine. And I know it works because we brought it up by just manually doing it. This is just trying to do it through the freaking startup config. No, it was that. There we can see it's up. Okay. So that is a problemo, but not a big problemo. There it's connected with the other, oh, but I see. So the router ID is different to MyCritico 3, but I think if I log on to MyCritico 3, you'll see the 04 neighbor is going to be, well, let's just go into 04, and then we should see that both the adjacencies are going to be stuck in X start or something like that. Yeah. And that is because it's the same thing. The router ID is just not right because it's picked up the, like a router ID for, I think it's something that Docker is adding by default, which is, I'm just going to destroy it quickly. I understand what the issue is, so it's not a big issue. Let's just redeploy it quickly. Get rid of those files when it's gone. And then it's going to be as quick as just heading into here and updating the config quickly. So I've got MyCritic 2, 3, 4, 5. I swear I had 1 as well, but whatever. Let's open up 1. And then all we're going to do is, and I should have checked it out, is in our instance. Man, why didn't I check it out now before? Hang on. I'm going to open up my normal thing, but just off screen quickly. And then if I go into my routing OSPF instance, router ID. Okay, let's just export that quickly. I know it's not nice seeing it off screen, but there is other config on my normal router that I'm not sure that I want to accidentally leak. So export routing OSPF export. Alright, so it's just router ID equals nothing fancy. So we go into our router dash ID equals 192.0.0.1, and then just that one line I'm going to add to all the other routing instances, but just update the router ID. Save, save, save. 4. Save, 5. And I'm pretty sure 5 and 4 was sharing the same loopback address, so good thing I checked, because that would have been another issue. Fantastic. So let's just deploy it again. And let's see what's happening on VS Code. It's busy running, which is fine. Let's see if I ping this. It should already respond, yep. But it takes a minute. It's still connecting. I think I've slouched a bit forward as well. Let me just sit up a bit more straight. Keep that good posture. Okay, so the question is, did it actually update? Yes, it did. So there we go. There's our neighbor. Now, are we actually learning our routes now? There we go. So I'm still missing 1 though. I'm missing 192.0.0.5, which was router 5. And I know I did mess something up with it, so let's just quickly log on to that and see what I messed up. IP address, loopback is right, 192.0.0.5, that's fine. Is OSPF up for this? This is stuck in X start. It's got the right router ID there, on the remote end at least. And its router ID looks fine to me. So why are you stuck? I'm gonna do the unorthodox thing of just disabling and re-enabling it. Let me maybe have a look and see what's happening on MikroTik 4. So that looks fine. And it should be Ether 2 and 3. Interface templates 2 and 3, that's fine. PTP, it's fine. Is it something with the router 5 config maybe? Let's just look at the Ether 2, that's fine. Just wondering, can I see 10005? Did I mess the IP addressing up? I think that's it. Let's just look at MikroTik 4. Yep. That is the issue. I did not update the IPs. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna we're gonna destroy our lab again. And I'm just quickly gonna fix up that startup config again. And then on MikroTik 5, loopback is fine, but the IP address was wrong. So that should be .7. And this should be it. I think this is it. This is the magical event of having OSPF work. Just having a quick look at the analytics. Looks all right. All right, let's see if I can get back into CLab 01 or MikroTik 01. There we go. Just waiting for these neighborships to come up, or adjacencies. That's good. And let's have a look at our routing table. We should see some routes come in. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And I wonder if I could show this quickly, how quick the connectivity is, because it's all in this container environment. Because if I do a ping, what was it? 192.0.0. Let's just do to 2, which was the next hop. How quick is that? Like, I don't mean to, like the kids say, flex, but how freaking quick is that? This stuff is talking in nanoseconds to each other. Like I get it, yeah. There's some millisecond, like, but the fact that this is talking like mid, like, it's really impressive actually. I just wonder how much of an issue it's gonna be if because I've got quite a few CHR keys, so I wonder how much of a schlep it will be if I register these CHRs, and then if I had to destroy and redeploy the lab. I think obviously the system ID is going to change, which would mean I'd lose license, and then I'd have to reapply the license, so that is kind of not fun. That is not fun. which is unfortunate because obviously you get like limited to 1 megabit, I think, on CHRs until you either run it as a trial, but I guess I could just run it as a bunch of trials as well. Doesn't matter since it's just a temp container thing. Alright, cool. So I think I've collected quite a bit of stuff, but there's one more thing, and this is more like me just testing out stuff I haven't checked out yet, and that is the Containerlab GUI stuff. So just give me a second. Discord. I just want to open up Discord quickly because this is my, I don't know, I really don't use Discord much anymore, but I have signed up and I am on the Containerlab Discord, and I just want to have a look at the Containerlab GUI, although they didn't make an announcement about the GUI stuff. When was that, March 8th? I swear they did make an update or announcement, not to be missed. Containerlab Web and Containerlab General. There we go. After months of dev, the Containerlab GUI family just got bigger for almost a long time. The VS Code extension is the way to go to design, inspect, and operate Containerlab topologies. But I always wanted to go a step further with that. Containerlab Web and Containerlab Desktop is now here for users who wanted the extension also as web and desktop app with full multiple endpoint support via the CLab API server. Try the GitHub Pages sandbox to design and visualize a topology directly from your browser. No install, but no deploy. For the real deal, so that's where we can just download it. And what is that? Let me just quickly copy that link. I'm just gonna pop that. Can I cross copy? I hope so. No. I swear that you could cross copy from your main host into your VM. Or was this some feature I needed to turn on the VM? Containerlab GUI. I wonder if they've put it on the... Man. GUI. Else... Let me just check it like this. Yeah, I'll just type it in then. HTTPS srllabs.github.io containerlab app. I think this is just like a demo. What about... Because I know I am running a lab, so for the real deal... Okay, hang on. Let's just go to that. github.com SRL labs Containerlab app. Want to try the UE, create CLab YAML files, or visualize Containerlab topologies without installing anything? Open the GitHub page sandbox. Okay, that we've already tried. All right, I'm quickly going to try this out. I just hope it doesn't, well, I just hope it's not upset while I've got a lab already deployed. I'm sure it wouldn't be an issue. Let's just see. So that's installed that. Actually, let's just copy that bit. I actually think I needed to what's my username? Ubuntu. So that should be fine. I feel like I'm missing some steps, but it's alright. What the heck is this? Sudo app install Containerlab desktop version. So is that linked to the Containerlab version itself? What's that? This is gonna need a bit of reading and playing around. Let me see if I can do it with the web app though. And then I think that should just do that. Proceed. Okay, let's try that. Okay, that's pretty nifty. So this is now through a web app instead of through Visual Studio Code. It looks functionally exactly the same. I'm curious about the app itself. Desktop app. I feel like the version is just... What is that? Version... Is it just this version? 0760? I wonder. Let's try. Grab that, paste that. .76. What am I? Oh, I'm so silly. So I just need to get the package and download it. Was it the package with the app? Let me just read again. Download your desktop package of your platform from the GitHub release assets. Desktop. So that's the installer. Let me just read properly. Would definitely help. Containerlab app. Where is it? Containerlab. Oops, no. Come on, we just want to install the actual desktop app. And it should connect similarly to how the web app is connecting, which works just fine. So what am I missing? I'm just missing the package, but where do I get the package? And it's so cool while I'm reading this, and then I'm getting that old Trollololol song in my head. Really cool. Let's just have a look. What's happening with the stream stuff? That looks fine. Let me just go into the Discord again as well. Maybe there's a pointer there. Although it's clearly like just telling us what to do. What's that? Right, so this is just the VS Code. Oh, okay. So this is the drag and drop stuff applying. Okay, that's quite nice. I like that. That's really cool. The question is, you can apply this to a live lab, and then it just comes. Okay. I wonder if that's in the new version that they just released. It's quite handy. Nice. This also seems quite cool, although I have no idea what that guy's talking about. Huh. Wow, that's already been forked a few times as well. It's literally just a file that I need to find and install. I think what I'm going to do is, I've been at this for like 2 hours 40 minutes, which is quite crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up, but it has been a really nice stream. I'd like to thank everybody that joined and tuned in. Just wanted to see if, well, I really just wanted to collect some footage for upcoming video, also just show face, and actually just test my setup and make sure that I can actually use my camera, my microphone, all that stuff. And it seemed to have been working fine. So I really appreciated everybody that also just, you know, tuned in and talked and listened. It was really helpful. So this is where I'm going to end off the stream tonight. I will maybe have a stream next week, but I am definitely more going to focus a bit on some of the videos that I want to make, which will definitely, I think, quite heavily showcase a lot of Containerlab stuff, since I do want to move my lab setup to Containerlab, because I've gotten rid of EVNG. It's gone. It's not a VM anymore. It's just destroyed. I couldn't get it working again. So time for something new, and I really think Containerlab is decent. It's really good, and it can actually do what I wanted to do, and will also help showcase things. And I think it's really neat that it is open source, and you've got control of what's going on. You can see what's going on. You know how it's working and what it's actually made for. So it's really, really neat. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you soon again, either in another stream or a video. Hope you have a good day or evening. See ya.